Hey crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be using products from Pixi Dust Designs and a card sketch from them that the video team has kicked off this month as a new monthly series. We'll be using a card sketch each month. It'll be a brand new one, personally designed, and I will show you that in a minute, that you can download. Here is the products we're going to be using. Today we're going to use the Calla Lillies Die Set, the Foliage Die Set. I'm using some of the Bella Flowers pattern paper, and I'm going to use the It's Your Birthday stamp set for my sentiment today. Here's the sketch, and if you're not familiar with a card sketch, I have information right there on the side telling you how it's beneficial and how to use it. You also have placed a spot at the bottom that you can write down the supplies that you use for your card sketch if you wanted to keep track of that. You can slip these into page protectors and put them in a binder. They're 8.5 by 11. You just print them out. Or you can just punch holes and put them in a binder. So that will be linked below if you're on my channel. If you're on the Pixi Dust Design channel, I'll make sure that it gets linked on the blog somewhere. And I've already cut out my parts and pieces, and we're going to do a little ink blending first. I must cut out some of the foliage. I do want to add just a little bit of ink blending to these to add just a little bit more to them. So I'll do all the green first, and I've just picked out some distress ink. I'll start off with the lightest color and just add a little color up on each part, letting it fade out towards the middle. So we have a little bit of contrast there. We'll do the same thing with our last one over here. I am going to add just a little bit darker of a shade also. So I'm going to keep this on the simple side today to go along with our sketch. Next month we will have a different sketch. So be watching for those. All right, so there's our ink blending on that. So I'll move these to the side. All right, I've got my inner workings of our Calla Lillies in here, and I laid them out on my mat where they're gonna go on the layering set. That way it allows me to get a little bit better grip on the ink blending to know where it goes. I'm gonna add just a little in that center as well, since it would be darker. I also pulled in just a little bit darker color that I'm going to add just a little bit of. Mainly just on that edge. I'm going to add just a little bit of it in the center to darken that up. And I've got the little part of the center. Both of those, I'm just going to add a little bit of color to that. Just add a little shadow. All right, I'm going to build up my parts and pieces of my Calla Lily first. So we've got our, move those to the side. I've got my leaf that goes on my stem, so we can add that. It's just a nice little layering piece. We're just going to line that up on that left edge there, so everything is nice and lined up. Then I will add the most largest part of our Calla Lily. We'll just line that up right there. All right. This one will go here. I think we're going to add that center first. I'd much rather have that in place and layer on top of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that second one right there. Even though it's not really, I don't think, supposed to go with it, I'm going to add it anyway, just so it has a little bit more dimension. We're going to take our right-hand side first. And we're going to layer that since it tucks behind our other. Then we'll take the left-hand side and add glue to it. And I will line that up onto our base layer. And I'll put on my other parts and pieces. I've got my piece of Bella flower pattern paper. I cut it down. The sketch calls for 4 by 5 1/4. I use the mat for that, and then cut this down to just slightly smaller. It's 4 7/8, or 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I will add that. I did roughly pick all the colors from the pattern paper as close as I could get it. All right, we've got our front here. So I'm going to add that to my top folding card base. I do have a piece of that same Bella Flowers pattern paper I will add to the inside. I think I'm going to use the polka dots for the inside, tie in a little bit more of that pink. And then I can trim off any of the excess hanging over in a little bit after that dries. I've got my 2.5 by 2.5 piece of pattern paper, and I matted that on a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece of that same green cardstock right there. I'm going to hold off on adding this because I want to stamp my sentiment on this, I think. So we're going to layer up our focal panel. So I'm going to add just a little liquid glue there. We're going to build up our little cluster here. Our little bouquet. We'll add our little calla lily right in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of twine for a natural element on my little bouquet. So I'm going to wrap this a couple times right and around there. And I'm going to tie a little knot, do everything up. Then I can tie my little bow. There's my focal panel. Now I'm going to set this to the side in a minute because I do have another idea for this part right here. I'm going to add some pearls to that. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our sentiment first. And I'm just going to stamp best wishes. All right, now that I've got that stamped, I can go ahead and attach this to my matte layer. And we'll go ahead and attach this. Just like so. Let me go ahead and trim off this paper here. And then I will go ahead and attach my bouquet. Add liquid glue back behind the largest part. That way everything will be nice and secured. We'll take that. I'll flip this over. And I'm going to add it right in there. And then if I want to secure these stems a little bit, I can by just popping in a little liquid glue there and securing it in place. Go ahead and trim off anything that needs to be trimmed. And manipulate our foliage around a little bit. All right, I have some iridescent pearls in my stash. So I'm gonna add some to our little, I think it looks like baby's breath to me. So we're gonna add pearls to it to add just that little extra touch. Just so there's just something extra there. I'm going to tuck that back behind there so we don't have to worry about it. And then I'll add a few of our little pearls around our sentiment as well. And we'll add a few around our flower. All right, here's a look at the sketch again. Remember, I will have this, make sure that this gets onto the website or blog so that you'll be able to download that, or we'll figure out some way that you can grab it for the Pixi Dust Designs channel. And it will be on my blog, on this blog post that coordinates with this card today. So you can grab it there as well. All right, here's a closer look at the card. See how it opens up. Here's our decorative inside. So I hope you had fun learning a little bit more about sketches. I hope you join us for the rest of this series, monthly series, so that we can take advantage of using your Pixi Dust Designs products with your card sketches that we have created for you. And if you like this video, I will see you over in that video right over there. And I'll see you there. Bye guys, stay crafty, love you.